I understand that you guys have a lot of things. I understand there's certain things, but you know, I understand we need this. I mean, I have a note here from 2010 that was from you guys talking about siding. Our condo fees went up. I said this last time. We have paid more money in siding that all of Boulder should be sided now. I mean, we have paid so much money for siding. Where is the money going? Where is all this money going? You say it's great to have a manager. This is not directed, but the fact is, it's like we have a manager, but nothing's being done. We get nobody to mow the lawn. We get hardly anybody to water the grass. We get nothing done for our money.
Okay,
We pay $245 a month.
I mean, these are all good points.
So
let me address the one that this relates to your point about that. Frankly, I think that what has happened in the last year and a half, when the league started, and when our money started going out the door for emergencies, is that money that used to go out to deal with these, and the attention of staff on those kinds of broken light bulb phenomena it's part of what's wrong. And it's, where's Doris? Because
she left.
Still here?
She gave me a bunch of photos of the whole thing.
Well, but
in any case, the point is that, in fact, the property doesn't look very good. For a number of reasons, some of which are no one's fault. They're the fault of the current drought, which has reduced the amount, let me finish, the amount of ditch water that we are getting is a fifth of what we used to get. So we just aren't getting the water. And you don't want to pay city water rates to keep the lawns green, trust me.
Well, I water at night, and I've watered at night.
No, well, and you know, we've been doing spot watering, but it looks bad, and it looks bad because we don't have any water. And I do. So,
Over here, Jason. Over here.
Yes, hi.
Hi. I'm concerned about the short-sightedness, even in hearing that we're not going to look at insulation in the whole building. When you or I sell, then that homeowner didn't have the option of insulation. There are just some basic things in life, and in this case, that are really basic. One is paint. There has not been paint, you know, just on the posts as you enter your building. I have not seen paint. I've been here 13 years. I'm Judy. I'm at 3055 Corona. This is my home. I've attended a lot of board meetings, and the short-sightedness and the lack of looking at community-wide long-term, I'm still concerned because I don't see in the projected budget. Carpet was done once in the last 10 years on that revenue, 02 to 11. My building, it's never been done, and I've been here 13 years, so I don't see in the estimates carpet. I don't see paint, and just paint protects things. I would much rather see our maintenance people painting than picking up cigarette butts and pieces of paper. I mean, there are priorities in life, and you know, and the concern is, and we've over the years we've talked about, could we have a work day, a Saturday several times a year, a work day. So if people here are willing to do that, would you raise your hands so we do a community work day?
Sure.
So that takes a board with leadership that's willing to say, let's do something that benefits all of us.
Sure, thank you.
And so I have the trust issue that Aaron said about giving money when a roof, I understand it's essential, but if there's not a tiny bit of paint, and also I didn't see in the budget windows, the double pane windows before the siding goes in the common area. And I know for a fact, I put mine in the day I moved in, and it destroys, it tears up the exterior. So it seems to me we've asked ourselves to double paint our windows by 211, but the HOA has not done it in our common areas.
I was given $6,000 for windows, but I stopped because I'm out of money on them. I mean, they're allocating me on the 5-year plan $6,000 a year.
Who is?
This board
So
gave me $6,000, but I didn't spend it.
But some of the things that you're talking
Okay, so
about.
that's the trust issue.
Well, so some of the things that you're talking about are things which, as Barney just said, we normally budget for, and he ran out of money. This assessment is going to make it possible for the parts of the budget that have been normally going for these kinds
Okay, but there has been, I'm telling you, 13 years, no paint and no carpet.
of. Well, so
Well, these
So
boys
your
have been a
building
year
is
and a
going
half.
to be resided, and when it's resided, it will be repainted.
That may be, we'll be at the end because we're the least damaged. In the meantime, that may be 3 years. I would just like a little paint.
Okay. But
Thank
you
you.
can see where this stands in the
I'm
scale of things. I appreciate
priorities
the importance of
and
the little
trust.
things because these things matter.
Mark Shipman, 3300. Everybody's talking about insulation in the building. Okay, the siding bids do not include insulation. They're going to go to each homeowner and say, okay, sir, you want insulation in your apartment?
No.
That's going to be an extra $700 directly to the siding. Period. Now, it'd be nice if it was sided all the way around, on every floor, on every outside, but like you said, it will cost $275,000 in addition to what this assessment is. So that's another $1,000 on every single unit.
How do we know?
If you want it. If you want to pay it, yes or no?
We haven't seen an estimate.
Yes.
I haven't seen an estimate of how much it will cost to insulate.
Well, you will see it.
I want
when
to.
your building is sided and you are offered the option.
But do you see, that's the concern that Aaron was raising about putting out $4,100 before you have any guarantees.
So you want us to cover all the things that will concern each of you individually for each one of these projects in respect to all the things that concern you right now.
When it's
You
big,
can't
like,
be
when
serious.
it's big, like insulation, yes, I do. I think that's reasonable.
Look, it's about $1,000.
But you're asking for my money right now.
It's another $1,000 to have insulation. If you want to pay that, tack it onto your assessment, send it in.
Are you checking everything out with the county?
Yeah, but you won't know when you go to sell it whether it is insulated or not.
Well, we were gonna provide
Which is the same thing that happened with the windows.
They were installed.
There are non-window, it was supposed to be done by 2011, there are apartments all over this thing where the rentals and everything else, and you know what? They didn't do the windows.
That's right.
I had the
Nobody did them. I was nice, I did mine, and I turned my thing into the office and said, I did mine. So why aren't we assessing these people extra money because they didn't get their windows done?
I was gonna do my windows this year, but I gotta pay the assessment instead.
That's one reason we're slowing down, cracking down on that, is if we weren't gonna bust people on the windows because of the assessment. We decided to just wait.
But you see, the problem I see with that is this winter, with no insulation, but I put my windows in, I'm still getting billed a larger amount of heat because ours is on a central boiler. But you have the guy upstairs who's in a rental apartment that doesn't have windows, has got his thermostat cracked up to the 95. I'm paying for his heat.
Paying unit heat. Are you gonna look at the monthly operating expenses? Because really, staying open to 8 o'clock at night is nice, but how many places do that?
We're gonna look at everything.
Yeah, okay,
Used to be open.
We're gonna look at it.
I know, but, you know, it's nice.
It's expensive.
And
Also,
come to the
running
board meetings.
Running the pool, every degree over 75 is 10% more in gas costs. But some people want the pool at 84, and that's a cost a fortune.
Thank you for the comments.
So, I think,
On the assessment.
yeah, the payment is something that we find very difficult to pay for out of the budget. And what we did was to put the few little things like pavement were added in because those are the things too that tend to be, we have to usually borrow from Peter to pay Paul when we're dealing with pavement because it's fairly expensive to do. It's about $40,000. Well, it's urgent enough
What, the roofs?
that we've been repaving on a regular basis. We repaved out here, and in front of the tennis courts. We do it regularly, line the thing. I mean, look, you guys, at some point, you've got to see that so many of you are going exactly where the past boards went, and that's why we're here. You look at that thing and you say, does that broken light bulb really need to be replaced? Couldn't we just squint? Couldn't we, bring a flashlight? Do we really need brand new asphalt every 5 years? Maybe not. But, so this really was like a little nickel and dime thing we added in because it usually has to come out away from other things we're spending money on. And I can't tell you that life won't, proceed apace and be fine if we don't pay for every single one of these things, but most of them really are necessary. And the few things that we added in fact, this is not quite as much as it should be. I mean, I would love to stand up and say, we should be, when we decided, we should have done insulation on all buildings. And then we'd be talking about $1.5 million. And then if we add some other things, we've got 15 old boilers, 15 old, I come from a very demonstrative family. Irish, not Italian. So we, yes, we could add all of the 15 boilers at $40,000 a pop. Well,
35,000.
35,000. And those are all old. Those boilers are old, and we're going to have to replace them. And when they go bad, we will have to do it now, this winter, because you guys will be freezing and we'll never hear the end of it. And because it's not right that you not have heat. So this is less than we probably absolutely need. But I think everything here is something that has cost us when we tried to pay for it in the incremental way we've done so far. And I guess I need to remind you that all of the other pipes on this campus are rusty and are likely to go at any moment. We've lost sewer lines that cost us the last time, what was that, $40,000? No, I'm talking about those sewer when Carol was here.
3055.
Yeah.
Yeah, 40,000.
$40,000 for the sewer line. We've had expensive cases where because we sit on floating soil, these foundations were not done right. They're just slabs of concrete sitting on floating soil with pipes embedded inside of them, and then they crack them out.
Boulder soil lose 20% a year. So if you've got a rock that's here, in 5 years, it's going to be up here.
So anyway, I mean, I don't want to sound like a
That's why it's
scold,
called
but
boulder.
these, sure,
Okay.
sure.
I've got a Christmas list. I'm sorry.
Someone had a
Let
question.
me tell you a few things. First place, everybody's acting like we're grabbing $50,000 and sticking in the pocket. It's not that. It's going to the man who's going to hire people to do the roof. He has to have some money in his bank account to hire people to do the roof. The more we linger, the worse the workers are going to be. I say do it as quickly as possible. I'm a HUD-approved housing counselor. I shouldn't say this, and I'm good managed buildings. I cannot do it. I don't have the help. I can talk. But when I got my certification in Los Angeles, we had a mantra, and it was, keep the building dry, keep the building safe from fire, keep the building safe from evil people, and make sure the grounds swept clean. Those were the things. I would like to say that, as far as I can tell, Barney's doing this. Water is his first concern. He gets up in the middle of the night. I know that because he came. When I found a flood in the basement coming home from the meeting one night, he came at, I think it was midnight or so, to stop it. The fire alarm system here is checked every year. I look at the tag. I mean, you just have it. I mean, I did it for 8.5 years. So I look at the tag. We're renters. That's not, we're owners mainly. That's so good, selecting good people still applies. I like the idea of a work day. I think a work day could create a community with much greater feeling of community than we have. It's very, very sad. I think you're,